Good morning and welcome to our channel. Today we'll be talking about the ban on the Bureau de Change dealers in Abuja, in fact in the whole world. The central bank has decided that everybody who needs dollars should go to the bank to get dollars, to sell dollars, to do whatever. And I hear that it could help those who send their children abroad for things to be easy for them, business people. So I will be playing a clip from the channel's television on an economist who analyzed everything on how he affected or how he affects the food market and the hunger situation in Nigeria, and maybe education and other things. So perhaps we'll be seeing how what the central bank is looking out for and if it's really for the good of the masses. So you come with me as I show you more on this. But on the normal explanation of this is that they are feeling that because the bureau de change the bureau de change are people who deal on dollars. That's the pounds, yen, euro, and all. So they help change for those who need it. So, and they make the market very, very high. Like now, dollar, maybe international rate for dollar would have been maybe 350, and they will be selling at 400. So the government, the CBN, the federal government through the CBN have decided to put a ban on that, and they are not giving, you know how they give people certificates to go into the business. They are not giving it anymore. So the ban, let's see how the ban goes. And I just want you to watch this clip so that you know what's happening in the economy of our dear country, Nigeria. So come with me.
Is way, way lower than the 100 naira margin, right? So the central bank was spending $100 million a week, $440 million a month, and $5 billion a year for travels when there was COVID restrictions. By the time you pay for your COVID test here, pay there, come back, and the cost is immense. So yeah, this was not tenable one and was not sustainable. So that is the important thing you have to note.
So what do you think would happen? Because you've made this recommendation, your suggestion on the solution, but with the decision they've taken, would this snowball into something worse?
No, nothing is cast in stone. The truth is that administrative solutions have their limits. It will be abused one way or the other. So the best thing to do is to have a market solution and administrative working together. Let the banks, if you want to buy your PTA and you have your documents, go to the banks. You can find the time to do that. If you're in a hurry to do anything, you're a trader or whatever, you're a smuggler, because it's a smuggler's dream come true, go and pay the market. The fact that the price has increased means that the demand will fall. And therefore, I think that will bring some stability. But in the meantime, we must agree that something had to be done. No country could have gone along this way.
The NPC also decided to leave its rates unchanged to sustain economic recovery. Are you happy with the parameters?
Yes. The truth is that the recovery, as what we say, Nigeria is moving but struggling. The rate of growth is 0.5% in Q1. At best in Q2, it will come out at about 2.6, 2.7%. Still below the population growth rate. Still tepid, but it's moving in the right direction, but very slowly. What needs to be done is to actually have a solution that deals with lack of investment, low capital formation. So to do that, you have a catch-22 situation where you need to bring up interest rates in the final analysis sometime to increase savings, and when savings increase, there will be investment. But in the meantime, because there are cost pushes there, and you don't want monetary policy to complement fiscal policy. The fiscal policy is to stimulate growth at this time. The president signed yesterday before going to the UK, signed the supplementary budget. That's a stimulus plan. So what I see the central bank doing is to try and go in what I call this, go pro-cyclically with the fiscal authorities, but go counter-cyclically with the economy. In other words, trying to encourage growth and encourage, because we have high unemployment, we have high inflation. Even though official inflation is supposed to be declining, the truth is that there are signs that that may not be right.
And I want us to talk about commodities and
Yes.
how the prices are really going up. I know that in one of the slides here you talked about how it appears that Nigerians are eating less. 1 in 2 Nigerians are eating less now. And is this bound to get worse, especially with what we have?
They say when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. We took 11 commodities between June and July. Not, if we do year on year, it's much more. Between June and July, and look at the result. Yam, new yam, up 15% to 1,500. Gari, up 3.6% to 17,000 naira a bag. Beans, up 34,000, right? 6.25%. Look at onions. Onions up 27,000 naira a bag. The worst, biggest culprit is pepper. Pepper is up 50% from 20,000 to 30,000. Not talk of flour, cement, chicken, rice, tomatoes, eggs. So things are getting tough. And that is why they said 1 in 2 Nigerians is eating less quantity and less quality at a time of COVID, where you need the best immunity and best resistance. So that's difficult. Not only that, 1 in 4 Nigerians is buying less of non-food items. In other words, refrigerators and things like that. So what is important to note is that food is impulsive buying. You buy it on impulse. But even in non-impulsive purchases, you are actually reducing the amount you are consuming. So what do you need to do? You have to put money in the hands of people. You need to give them jobs. You need to do things. And they are impeded by security problems, insurgency. So there's a combination of things that are affecting people. But let's go back to the primary mandate of the Central Bank. The Central Bank of Nigeria says that price stability mandate. So we've seen official inflation moderating. We've seen exchange rate stability, right? Official rate has been moved to 411. So there's some crawling peg, static peg arithmetic going on there. Boosting investor confidence slowly, but a bit mixed signals. But complementing fiscal policy is important. Now the question is, what next? And what happens? What should Nigerians look out for?
You can summarize that in 30 seconds.
I will do that. Oil prices will stay above $70. Oil brought us where we are, and we need oil to take us out. 2, GDP growth is not going to be great, but at least positive. The exchange rate remains sticky and become an issue. I suspect and I expect that the central bank will revise this thing so that there's no hardship to the people. But we'll sanitize the system and then make sure that things happen. But finally, the biggest risk is that only 1% of Nigerians have been vaccinated. Something has to be done to increase the vaccination in a hurry. Because in Senegal, they have 99% occupancy in the bed in the hospitals, and people are dying on the streets, and that's just around the corner. I think airline tickets will increase, so it's going to be a tough Q3, but hopefully Q4 will be better as we go into the Christmas.
I'd like to thank you, Mr. Bismarck Rawani, Chief Executive Officer, Financial Derivatives Company. Thank you for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you for having me.
Then part 2 after the break, President warns